This episode of Invent America is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and HomeTalkUSA. HomeTalk is a proud member of the King Broadcasting Network and has been bringing you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998.
Broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is HomeTalkUSA. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host Rita Crompton. Discover what's next for new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world. As like Rita Crompton talked to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today.
Welcome back, America, for this segment of Invent America, because we invent in this country. We solve problems, and then we go to market. And you know what? Then we go, oh, I've made it. Now I've got some inventory. Now what do I do? So the topic today is, all right, what's next? And our guest is Carole Sprunk. I was looking there at the S and the C. So I want to let everyone know that this segment of Invent America Radio is brought to you by Bond Products. It is for the DIY carpet binding. There is only one InstaBind. All right, bondproducts.com. It will make a frayed carpet look like brand new. So if you need some bonding carpet expertise, go to bondproducts.com. Carole, thanks so much for being with us today. We appreciate it. You help inventors kind of create that business model and get it out there. All right. You know, it's inventing. We always laugh and say, build it and they will come. Nope, you can build it, but they don't know you're there. Your specialty, and you've been there, done that personally with a product that you had. So introduce yourself to our listeners and tell them a little bit about you.
Yes, well, thank you, first of all, so much for having me on the show today. But it wasn't necessarily an invention, but it was my brand. I started a bourbon barrel aged coffee brand back in 2018 and sold that in 2023 to new owners out of state, and had an opportunity and just joined my product today, working as their chief brand strategist on all the things that I spent 6 years doing for my own personal brand, just a little over a year ago now.
Well, that's one of the things that we see inventors really struggle with, is being able to tell the story in a way that is catchy for the listener. And the story the inventor tells sometimes, is told from their point of view, which isn't necessarily what the consumer wants to hear. Give us some insight, Carole. Tell us a little bit about how you help inventors get the attention of the consumer.
For sure. Well, first we start off with what their goal is. Who is their consumer? Are they going to turn this product idea into a full-on business that they are going to run day to day? Or is their bigger goal to launch it and get acquired by somebody or go down the licensing path? So it's really just starts with their initial goals, and then from there, their capacity for working in it. Because then, like, running an e-commerce business could be a full-time job in addition to everything else you need to do. So it's really just going over goals and then kind of putting that strategy into place of what is next for us.
Well, one of the things that I notice is our consumers, all right, they want, we're quick these days, all right? So it's like, what really gets, it's like, wow, what's the wow motivator? So when I get somebody that, picks a name for a product that doesn't make any sense, how do you advise them to either, sometimes rebrand or get a tagline, but how do you get from, I'm the inventor to now I am the salesperson? And you're right. You're exactly right. Is that, the inventor is not always an expert in marketing. But we've got to reach the consumer. I mean, all of our listeners are consumers. We're all consumers. All right. We've had products. It's like, wait, what? What is that? There's been times on TV I've seen a commercial. It's like, I don't even really know what they were selling. There was a problem then with the marketing company. How do we sell what we're trying to sell?
Yes, and that's actually how I ended up joining my product today, was by working with a client who had a toy for children. And I said, one of the very first things is your logo and your branding have nothing, it doesn't speak to kids at all. There's no colors here. There's nothing to grab the attention of the child, or even the attention of a mom shopping for a small child. So, and in my case, in the coffee world, I had very intentional branding before I even had product, because I had a message I wanted to convey. I had a purpose for the business, and I studied how to convey that. But that came easy to me, because outside of that, I've been in magazine publishing for 8 years, and prior to that, I was in the newspaper world. So I understood branding and getting your message out to market early on. But it's helping that inventor identify who is the target audience for this, and how do you want to look to them? How do you want it to look and feel and sound and all the things? What can you make the customer feel from looking at this?
Well, and I always tell inventors, it's like, you've got to have a name or a tagline that someone would Google to find you. It's not walking down the store aisles anymore. Most of us go online. We all do. And so what would someone Google to find you? But, the other thing to keep in mind is Apple paid millions of dollars to teach you that an apple is something that you play with now and not something that you eat. And most inventors, by the time they get to marketing, they don't have $1 million to throw at this to teach you that an apple is something that you play with instead of eat.
It's the messaging behind it. And also, I think market validation. If you give enough of these products to your to customers to try out, their feedback is very important. And use those words and that feedback in sort of the messaging moving forward. And it can really help you identify audiences that you didn't even know existed for your product.
Well, one of the things that we've found is that when we go to ASD Market Week, and we take 40 inventors, and they find out a lot of information, and a lot of times it's what is the name, what is the tagline, what is the grab of the consumer, because the people who are there are the professionals, and they are the ones that are going to be selling this product on your behalf. They're going to put it on the store shelves or on the e-commerce sites, and so it's like, that's not going to work. So the information you gather as the inventor, can be critical to success. And those are the people that you want giving you some feedback. Is, the people that would be your, retailers and wholesalers and suppliers. And so we get a lot of inventors that, after the show, what they paid to go to the show, they have gathered in market research 10 times over, and are able to go back then and redo some packaging. They're able to redo some of that message. Sometimes they haven't even gotten packaging yet. And sometimes they actually even change the way it works.
Yep.
And
yep,
so
100%. And then it's maybe potentially being flexible for a potential retailer. As I, with the coffee business, looked at going into a larger distributor, they wanted a completely different size of a unit. So I had to explore if that was worth it to me, if I wanted that, and what the ultimate goal of the business was.
Oh, I know. We had an inventor, and he ordered a 4-inch size, and he got an order for a 3-inch size. And he goes, wait, what? I don't even have that one. So it's like,
right.
made him crazy. And, but they had a really good reason on wanting the 3-inch size. So, he's got the 4-inch size coming, and we'll sell all of those, and then we'll go after the 3-inch size. But you never know until you go to a show and people are starting to give you that critical feedback on, just the price. There was another one that we did, and everybody on the questionnaire said, what color do you think is going to be the best? And so they were picking overwhelmingly, the darker colors, black, brown, navy, gray, so that, it wouldn't show the dirt. And when they walked out the door, almost every single one of them picked yellow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, who would have thought? So that they made that their predominant color. You just never know what the consumer is thinking until you get their just uninhibited thoughts and impressions and that kind of thing. And that's what we get at the show. So if you're out there, guys, and you're listening and you've got a product you're trying to sell, go to ASD Market Week with us. You are going to be able to get more information in 3 days, 4 days than you would get from a ton of market research, and it's going to cost you a lot less, be a lot faster, and probably more applicable to you in that situation. So, Carole, with that said, thank you for doing this segment. Stick with us because you're going to help us wrap up this show. Everyone, we will be right back with our inventor who is going to ASD Market Week for exactly the same reasons that we've been talking about. So stick with us, everybody. We will be right back with a new inventor and a new product. Hello, America, and thank you so much for being with us for this segment of Invent America, because America invents. This segment is brought to you by Impeccable Air. They are the leaders of whole home air ventilation. If you want to improve the quality of air in your home, Impeccable Air at impeccableair.com. It's never been easier than using Impeccable Air. So take care of your home and find that impeccable air that we are all searching for. My guest for this segment is Vanness Harris. He is the inventor of A1 Dental Pro. Vanness, thank you so much for being with us today. It was a pleasure to meet you. I just met you last week. I love it when I get a chance to do a new show and there's inventors there. And I was like, oh, yeah, I need two inventors. Who's going to do it? And you and Rita both said, I'll go. So thank you very much.
Hey, Rita, thank you so much. You got me on the spot, so I really appreciate your time this morning. And thank you and all your guests for having us on. It's a tremendous opportunity.
So tell us about A1 Dental Pro. What is it?
A1 Dental Pro was born out of frustration, actually. In my late 40s, I decided that I wanted to get braces. I was traumatized earlier on by losing teeth because I love to eat candy all the time. But as I got older, I thought I was taking better care of my teeth. But what I noticed is that I didn't floss as often because it wasn't as convenient. So I decided to get braces to straighten my teeth out and to get better, action in terms of taking care of better dental care. I was traveling at that time, so as a scientist, I needed to carry floss, toothpaste, the brush. So the dentist was very clear that when you get these braces, you absolutely need to carry all these items with you to make sure you have great dental care. So I searched and searched. I said, there has to be a more convenient way than carrying this bag of supplies around all this. So I went to the Walmarts, to the CVS's, and looked vehemently for this item that I thought pre-existed. Didn't find anything. So I went home one night. I kind of sketched out what I thought it would look like to have an all-in-one, meaning the toothpaste, the toothbrush, and the floss. My stick figure, I'm a scientist, definitely not a draw at all. But that night I also saw on TV Invent Help. The next morning, I actually had an opportunity to call Invent Help and say, hey, listen, I was looking at this tool, this device it's all in one. Does it already exist? We had a meeting. I end up deciding to sign with them. They made it patent pending, and I now have a patented all-in-one toothbrush that optimizes hygiene and dental care.
Excellent. So cool. So, and I read in your bio where you were a scientist at one point and working on different products. And so, that certainly helps you understand the inventing process. Tell us about the challenges of marketing.
Yeah, so I have no skills in that. So there's a huge challenge. And I think you spoke about that earlier on. We definitely are geared for data and developing, but the transition into the new market, especially the digitized marketing age, you really have to already have been having followers either on the TikToks or the Instagrams or Facebook. That's the era right now. I grew up at a time frame where we had to pay and buy marketing. It wasn't as easy just to go online and create a following. So really difficult, but I've been really lucky to partner with my products today. Rita, met you. So I think these opportunities, a lot of inventors actually absolutely need. And of course, a lot of people that are interested in really optimizing hygiene and better dental care.
Well, and the show that we're going to, it's for all consumer products, and they've got a huge section of those personal consumer care products. And so, what is your goal for the A1 Dental? Are you manufacturing? Do you have inventory yet? Do you plan to get inventory?
We are now in the manufacturing phase. I am looking for inventory to come. So you asked a more important question about marketing. I love that Carole Sprunk that you had on earlier on was absolutely going to be helping me, guide that. This ASD show we're going to try to attend is going to also be something that's going to be absolutely helpful for me. But my idea is to have an all-in-one, an A1 Dental Pro in every backpack, in every purse, in every suitcase, America-wide. What I really want your viewers and listeners, I'm sorry, to understand is that 32% of Americans only floss. So that means 68% of us do not floss. That's over 65 million adults that do not floss. That means we also have then gum disease. That gum disease then will end up having you lose teeth earlier on or later on in life. What I really understood, and as I was doing my research, in America, we're really good at not having cavities, really great straight teeth. What we do have is bad gum disease. In other countries, they have really poor cavities, but really great gum disease. And I was questioning, what does that do to? We eat a lot of processed food, a lot of sugar, a lot of things that are really bad for our health. So I'm looking at this as not a product I'm really selling, but a lifestyle, a way to really keep your dental health, which affects your immune system and your heart, really healthy. So I think I want all Americans to somehow take better care of themselves. And as a scientist, one of the great things I want to leave in posterity is someone that can feel that, hey, I walked away with a product that helped me, my family, live a better and a good quality life.
Well, I think that that's fascinating, and being able to tell a good story, you're on the verge of that because you've said some of the key words. And I certainly appreciate it, easier when you're traveling. My grandsons come out here to see me and we're buying new toothbrushes. We're buying new, it's like, oh, what do you mean dental floss? We're buying new, toothpaste for them, and then they leave it. So, after, all this, traveling, and that's not just when they come to see me, that's when they go to see their grandfather or their aunts and uncles and everything, and everybody's out buying new supplies. They at this point have a toothbrush in every house that they're related to. So
it's about convenience.
Yeah. And so if they had yours, they'd be able to, come and go and do it. And their mother would say, oh, come on, guys, just leave it in your suitcase. So that is true. And don't tell Carole this, but I'm working on getting her to come to the show too. So
nice.
Keep that
nice.
secret,
Any
right?
place, anytime, anywhere. I think it's really difficult. It's really about convenience. In this day and age, people want a convenient way. What we leave out is the flossing aspect. I think we're really good at brushing our teeth when you have to, but it's the convenience of having to floss, having to stick your hand in your mouth and go through each tooth. It's in public. What would that, I mean, I know you're in the restroom doing so, but imagine having an all-in-one. The toothpaste is already inside.
Yep.
The floss is already inside. There's a pick that allows you to pick also. So I think, and that cap that you can rinse with, having all these things all in one really allow, I think, better dental care. It's really about optimizing great health care.
So, Vanness, thank you so much for being on today. I appreciate it very much. We'll get some video on with you so that you can actually show your product. America, stick with us. We are going to be right back with another inventor who's got a lovely product and is going to ASD Market Week with us as well.
Thank you so much, Rita. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Hello, America. Welcome back to America Invents. And we love to have you guys out there because you're going to be our first buyers of these cool new products that we are introducing to you. And I want to let you know that this segment is sponsored by Summit Chemical. Summit is the maker of the mosquito dunks and mosquito bit. It is the most I live out here in the mountains, okay? Mosquitoes are just a way of life. And I love this stuff because it is the most effective chemical mosquito control solution that is on the market today. SummitChemical.com. And our next inventor is Rita Widener, and she is the inventor of Practice Folders. Rita, thank you so much for being with us. It's been a pleasure to meet you and get to know you. Tell our listeners about Practice Folders.
Yes, thanks for having me on the show. I'm so excited to share with you my product. The Practice Folder is a portable, practical tool that is designed to help you practice with ease. And I'm a musician, I'm a pianist, piano teacher, and I work with students. And how this product started was I was actually in a continuing education class myself as a piano student, as an adult piano teacher, learning from a master's, a doctorate person, and she's giving me tips on growing myself as a musician. And she was trying to correct my technique during the lesson. I really was trying to do everything she said. And she said, you know what? I think you just need to practice with the mirror. So I went home and I thought, great idea. I go to my piano and I tried to pull up a mirror, and it was very difficult, and I couldn't very well roll the piano to the bathroom. So I go online to try to buy something that's easy to set up next to my instrument, and I couldn't find anything. And so I decided to make something myself, and it occurred to me, you know what? I would like to create something that can just become part of the student toolkit. And so I designed a folder that has two built-in mirrors, a large mirror and a smaller mirror that is removable and adjustable. And so now it takes a folder that's stylish. It carries your sheet music. It has retractable handles. It has pencil holders, pockets for stuff. And it comes with a cleaning cloth that covers the mirror. It acts as a protector for your mirror, but you can use it to clean the mirror, clean your glasses, clean your screens. It's very functional. And I've created a design so that you can carry your mirror with you to school, in the classroom. You can carry it on your own, stick it in your backpack. The mirrors are totally lightweight, non-breakable, so they're safe for the classroom. And I wanted to create something that was not digital, because often we tell students, okay, you can record yourself and, look at your videos. But what we know is that they often get distracted by other things on their phone, and we want to move them away from that reliance. Another thing that we find with students is that they're reluctant to record themselves and then actually watch their own videos for feedback. They're not, they're not reliable that way. So what's very effective is the immediate feedback of this mirror. And for me as a teacher, for me to bring this to the class and say, hey guys, look at yourself when you practice, it totally empowers the student to take ownership and responsibility for their technique. And I'm not the teacher nagging, do this, do that. They can see it themselves. And I say, hey, do a posture check. They sit up. They just look at themselves and know, I need to sit up. That does not look good. So I just created something that would fit in their backpack and work with their toolkit, if you so to speak, as a musician.
Well, I saw on your website, some of the ways that it was being used, and it was fabulous. I grew up playing the clarinet, and my daughters, they each played an instrument. They were in the band. My grandsons play, and so definitely can see the need. It makes a difference when you can see yourself.
Yes,
and it's not like you're going to play that horn or practice the drum in front of the bathroom mirror.
No.
So when you can set it right there and be able to use it on the music stand, and you can see sometimes it makes all the difference in the world in the sound of the music when you see how you're sitting.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you something. I'm a flute player as well. Now, that's like a little side thing I do. I'm a pianist, okay, but occasionally when I have a family event, like I've had funerals that I've gone home to Jamaica, where I'm from, and I don't have a piano, and they say, "Hey, can you help us with the music at the funeral?" And so they know I play the flute. Can you play this song on the flute? Okay, but Rita does not practice every day on the flute, so I am so insecure. Well, what I did was I took my folder with me, carried my sheet music up there. I had my mirror, and I was checking my embouchure the whole time to make sure that it was just right. No one knew I had it. It's so discreet, but it made me feel confident as the performer, to present that. And I am definitely within the student category in the flute department. And so I can see where if I were a student and having that tool that's really discreet and you have a performance and it make you feel better, you can take it with you.
Absolutely. It's amazing because, you're watching someone that is playing and you're thinking, they don't even realize they're starting to slump over. They don't even realize that they're frowning. They don't even realize. And then when they can look in the mirror and see themselves, it's like, you're right. All of a sudden they sit up straight and all of a sudden now they've got a different look on their face. The tone sounds better.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
amazing how that works. So tell me, what are your goals with Practice folders?
So my goal is to bring it into the world and make it available. I started this project a long time ago with a Kickstarter campaign in 2014. So I got the word out, and my goal at the time was to find a manufacturer. And I was featured on the local ABC 13 News, and I was so excited. I found a manufacturer in Jamaica that made me some samples, and it was not enough to go to scale to sell. So I did launch it in 2016, and I gave away a bunch of product to the National Youth Orchestra there. And I've given away product here and asked for feedback from professors and so on. So my ultimate goal is to be able to provide a product, and I know I can have a manufacturer reliably provide product and it can take orders and fill them. So I've actually had to hold back on advertising because I have a social media site, I have a web page, I have lots of people who tell me great things about this product, but I have no product. And so my goal right now is to get, I'm in the manufacturing process with my product today.
Good for you.
Hopefully my product will come down the line a little bit later this year. I am going to the ASD convention with you, and I'm so excited to get some feedback from potential buyers. Initially, my thought is to bring the product in and market it under my Practice name. I do have a line of products in the back of my head coming down that will help you practice with ease. This folder is the first of those products. I am definitely open to licensing if the right deal comes along. But initially, I will start off with selling on an e-commerce site, selling locally, and in stores and so on, and then see where it goes from there. But I'm wide open to whatever opportunities come.
Well, good for you. And one of the things that we find, happens on a pretty regular basis is you start getting interest from potential buyers. It's easier to get interest from somebody that willing to license it because they already know you've got buyers lined up. So you're kind of at that critical spot right now where you can look at taking orders from people interested in carrying the product, but you can also then, when you're talking to the licensees, and one of the other parts of the conversation you can have is when someone says, well, we'd like to order 12 of these, who supplies you with these other types of musical supplies? Because that would be the perfect one then for licensing. So there's multiple ways that you can go after it at the show, and we will be doing, walkthroughs on all of that. So we're looking forward to being able to have you there, get the word out, start getting information. And that's one of the things that our Stephanie, we've had her on the show before. That's what she does for the inventors before the show even starts, is that she will take your product and your sell sheet and your website, and she will start pre-selling the product for you to bring buyers in. But the cool thing is that if they can't be there, they still have your contact information. So they're able to then get in touch with you, find out more about where you are, what you're looking for. They'll ask you about your intellectual property, all of those things. But she provides then that route before the show, and then certainly after the show as well. So, Rita, we are looking forward to having you with us at the show. Thank you so much for today. We're going to do some video with you probably next week so we can show your product off a little bit and link that to the dashboard. And
Awesome.
Stick with us, everybody. We're going to be back with Carole to kind of wrap this up. And again, if you know anybody out there who's a small business owner, who's got product that they are trying to sell, ASD Market Week is a great place. Their tagline is dustpans to diamonds. We like diapers to diamonds because we have diapers that we're taking with us. But anybody out there who's got a product to sell, join us at ASD Market Week. Stick with us, everybody. We will be right back. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being with us this afternoon for Invent America Radio, because Americans invent. Always have, always will. We are problem solvers. And one of the things that Carole Sprunk does with the product, my product, they help inventors tell the story. You've got to learn your story, and, from a consumer point of view, because everybody out there is a consumer. We're consumers, you're consumers, everybody consumers. We love new products. We really do. We want to see what's new. That's one of the things about going to ASD Market Week, where we do the Innovation Awards. All of the inventors who go with us are open to the Innovation Award. First place is about a $6,000 marketing campaign that we do for you. And so for those inventors that want help getting the word out, we're going to get Carole to help us do all of that stuff. Right, Carole?
Yes, of course.
I am certainly not a marketing expert. And we appreciate the fact that you help inventors understand the challenge of marketing and create then that few second story that's going to get our consumers, all of our listeners, to say, wait, I want to know more.
Right. No, it's been a blast working with my product today and coming on and helping. We refer to all of our product inventors as brand CEOs, those that are wanting to take their product idea and really build a brand around it and take control of their future.
So it's part of the challenge. I mean, we look at, the cost of getting a product from I have an idea, mine to market. And so those early steps, and they go, oh, I can't afford to file a patent. What do I do? It's like by the time you do the patent, the prototype, the manufacturing, and you put it on one side of the Grand Canyon, everything that you spent there, you're going to spend equal and more on marketing. So you've got to be you've got to really squeeze those dollars on the front end, because you're going to need them on the back end. Marketing is not free. Social media has made it so you don't have to buy a TV commercial. But it can still, especially if you make mistakes, especially, you can get, there's certain phrases out there. It's like, nope, don't do that. If you want to know what not to do, give me a call. I'm happy to tell you. But there are just certain things that give you a bigger bang for your buck. Carole, what are some of those things that give you a bigger bang for your buck?
Well, certainly, any opportunity that you have to do anything in person, or opportunities to be on shows such as this, where you can talk about your product. And I think that the more opportunities you get to do that, along the way, you refine your message and you get faster and better at telling people what problem you solve and how quickly you solve it and who it's for.
Yes, you're exactly right. And I think, when we talk about going to a trade show, everybody pitches in. When we go to ASD Market Week, we take 40 inventors. We've got 1,000 square feet. Everybody pitches in and pays a little bit to go for this big show. You talk to more people in 4 days. You spend less money in 4 days than if you were doing a huge social media campaign. And you get more people interested in giving you feedback for your product. So it's a bigger bang for your buck to go to a professional trade show. We tell people don't go to those trade shows that are, don't go to an inventor trade show because it's a feeding frenzy and you're the main course. Go to the show for your industry. Go to some place where there's buyers, professionals, business to business, that kind of thing, as opposed to those niche ones.
I mean that makes sense. I think you want to go where your customers are going and be able to. People want to know who the inventor is. People want to know why you did what you did and what your passion is. And I think us as consumers, we can read right through and see whether something is authentic or if the passion is there. And that's, I mean, there's local shows, statewide shows, city opportunities, craft vendor fairs. I think it's more opportunity, and you want to start with manageable chunks. You don't want to try to bite off more than you can chew in that first year. You want to, like to your point, get used to it first. Get your branding down, get your messaging down. And there's opportunities. I mean, I'm in Nebraska and there's opportunities here. And then, in the Midwest and then nationally and internationally. And you want to take those in manageable chunks.
Absolutely. And you pay attention. One of the things that we always tell the inventors when they go to ASD Market Week with us, and they'll say, well, do you have chairs for us to sit at a table? And it's like, no, you're there to work. And so everybody's up there walking around, they're talking and engaging to people. And I said, when you walk around the show, you look at the booths where they had a table with people sitting at the table and they've got a phone in their hand and they're not making any eye contact. And they'll come back and they'll say, oh my God, you were right. It's like there was no eye contact there. Nobody even knew I was walking by. And it's like, okay, this is how we do it here. And we give them the opening lines. We tell them what to say and what questions to ask. And it's so fun to watch the difference. And we'll get people that say, oh my God, that was the best time I had. Now they worked like crazy for 4 days and they are so excited. And, they're going out and they're meeting people and they're getting feedback on the product and they're sharing with each other. It's amazing what the inventors learn from each other.
Yes, for sure. That's where we're building a community within my product today of brand CEOs, introducing them all to each other. I'm like, you've got built-in cheerleaders all across the country, consumers and feedback. You couldn't ask for a better community of people to be part of.
Absolutely. I mean, we do the Inventor Roundtable meetings, which is kind of the call-in version of the radio show. And so people will all across the country will take a look at the participating, and they go, sometimes the best information they get is the inventor sitting next to them, even though it's a virtual screen.
Yeah. Your network is your net worth.
Yes. Absolutely. And so anybody out there who knows an inventor, wants to become an inventor, you can join us on the radio. It's free. And if you want to join us at one of the Inventor Roundtable meetings, they're free. We do 2 a month. And people can just log in from their computer and ask questions, talk about the process. We're going to get Carole on one of these days to be a guest speaker that talks about marketing. And, everybody out there, everyone in America is an inventor at one time or another, and what's more important? Everybody out there is a consumer. We all look at buying cool new products. I'm still a little jealous of the guy that invented the flashlight that wraps around the pole. Wish I'd been there, done that. But, I certainly own one now. And so we can all support the inventing process in America by going out and buying these new products. So thanks everyone for joining us today. We will be back next week with more stories on getting products from mind to market. We will have new inventors and industry experts. So join us and have a wonderful week.